Welcome, and thank you for joining us for this special conversation surrounding The Man in Me, an album born from truth, reflection, and lived experience. This project isn't just about music, it's a narrative. Each track is a chapter that explores vulnerability, identity, legacy, and the evolving definition of manhood. Today, we go beyond the music to unpack the inspiration, the stories, and the intention behind the work. I'm Terry Glen Harris, and it is an honor to lead the dialogue as we sit down with the voice, Kalief Jennifer, behind the music, The Man in Me, to unpack the message, the album, and the movement. The Man in Me.
The Man in Me.
The album.
The album.
Long time coming.
Yes.
But worth the wait, right?
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
It's I'm happy. Yeah.
That's if I could be frank, a word I don't hear you use too often. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess I was supposed to cuss after that.
Yeah.
Even when people say if I could be frank,
Yeah.
kinda, but no.
Well, I am. I'm happy. I'm happy because it was a goal. I wanted to obtain a goal, and I did.
You did.
So, and I'm happy. So,
You are.
Yeah.
And I heard it.
Yeah.
And
You like it?
It gives me like fall, spring, summer,
A little bit of everything.
90s R&B.
Really?
Like when them groups
Yeah.
and the R&B crooners was out and R&B was actually R&B.
Really?
That's what this album like gave me. It
I'll
gave you the
take that.
feels. It's a little bit of the Best Man Holiday. How I
Yeah.
give you the roller coaster. You don't know if you're supposed to laugh,
Right.
cry. You know, it's
And that was the goal.
there.
So that's good. It's a healing album. Yeah.
like it definitely healed at least one
Yes.
person so far. 'Cause,
Really?
you know,
Man, I'll take it.
and I think I'm that one. But I guess two because you wrote it and you recorded it.
yeah.
So I guess
did.
two.
Yeah.
But as we get into it, there's a name you used to go by
Okay.
when you would get on stage, Carter.
Yeah.
And you have parted ways with Carter, and now you are going strictly by the name your mama and God gave you.
Yeah.
Why the separation from a moniker to your actual name?
Well, I think there was so much about Carter that was so not willing to heal and not willing to talk or display who he really was. And it was me going by my real name was like a declaration to myself. Like I'm going to set out to really show people who I am. And it comes in increments.
Okay.
So as I'm healing one thing and I feel like, okay, now I'm on to the next thing. So it comes in increments, but it's just a vow that I made to myself that I was going to really show who I was and who God made me to be. So, yeah.
So see you later, Carter.
See you later,
The
Carter.
guy that nobody knew. And
Yeah.
what's up, Kalief? The guy we all about to get to know.
Yeah. Yeah, because what Carter was, I think Carter was a facade.
Okay.
To some degree. Not saying that he was completely fake. I think it was just, see, one thing about how I am with my music or anything with my gift was I want it to be for everyone. So let's just say if I wrote a song and I put it out, I never, if one person didn't like it,
It was trash.
I would go back and adjust who I was or what the sound was. And I think that it was a decision that I made to myself that was just saying like, nah, I'm going to fully walk in my ideas, what I want to create, what I want to say, how I want to say it. I even had a hand in like vocal production on this, which is something that I always felt like I could never do. And this is just because someone told Carter that he couldn't do it. So, you know what I mean? It was just that decision that I made for myself.
Gotcha. And when you say vocal production, you mean vocal production for this album?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you also
I started,
what?
I did. So I did vocal production for an up and coming artist out of Atlanta.
So we're talking about The Man in Me.
Yeah.
This one right there. Okay.
Yeah, I did
Gotcha.
that. Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to being men, we are, the first thing we think about in the morning is, how's my family going to eat today? Well, the first thing us responsible men, no shade, but think about when we wake up in the morning is, how am I going to feed my family today, right? And we find it hard to find balance around work and keeping up appearances, let alone creating an entire album.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How did you navigate a wife, being a father, being a friend, a brother, being a son, and someone who gets called like, yo, we need you to do this and we need you to do it now, to find time to record not a song, but an entire body of work?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what people need to really understand about artists who really are operating in their gift and really doing it for themselves. Of course, that's a part of being an independent artist, but I'm a real songwriter. So like when I wake up in the morning, I'm writing music. Throughout my day, I'm writing music. There's so many unfinished songs in my notepad and my voice memos. So I'm a real songwriter. But what also people don't understand is I really do create art based off my experiences. So it takes time because I actually have to go through these things that I write about, right? So I think that was a journey. That's the reason why it took so long.
Okay.
I think navigating through life or any experiences, while I was writing it, I was going through it. Any idea that I had, any lyric that I had, any melody that I had, is all in my phone. So I have things from years ago when I started this, and as I was going through these moments, I was writing and I was healing and I was telling myself things that I didn't feel. And I think essentially that's a part of being a creative and being a part of a real artist, because the things that you do, your gift is like you're giving it back. So you're healing other people while you're broken, So, and I think that's a part of being chosen by God and also being a creative and an artist. Yeah.
The chosen by God part.
Yeah.
Can't nobody mess with that.
Can't nobody.
You drop that on, it's like, everybody else might as well not apply.
That's it.
I love it. And then I like when you said that you were broken, but helping to heal other people. Because, they say hurt people. Yeah. And to an extent, that's true. But I think when we realize that we are hurt and we actually want to heal, as you have been doing through the creation of this album, the narrative shifts a little bit. So it's like, all right, hurt people to an extent. But when we get on this side, it's like, no, I'm hurt, but I'm healing, so I can help to heal you through my experience. Right.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah.
Okay. So art's not easy.
Art isn't easy.
Especially if it's good.
Good art.
Good art is not easy. And in the words of our Black Nubian sister, Erykah Badu, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about mine. I don't know, kids may see this, so I'm not going to say the word, but what was the toughest part around creating The Man in Me?
Believing in it. So, I believe anyone that sets out to create anything, I have an idea and I want to do it. But nobody talks about when you're going through that process, so many things happen that tell you that it's not good. And I think there were so many days when I'm like, this isn't good. I would listen to it front to back. It's like, okay. And then other days I'm like, oh, this is good. I believe in it. So I think it's believing in something that you set out to do, and you're like, God, you gave me this idea. I know that you put me here to use this gift of mine and give it back. But this goes back to being a creative, you have to almost be delusional in what you're doing. And I was delusional. It was really, I would go into the studio and not even sure what I was going to do. And I allowed my circumstances and my gifts, through my talent and just prayer and just the room and the environment. I just allowed it to curate something that was special to me. And I feel like if I left the studio and I liked it at the time that I, created it, something, all right, somebody's gonna like it.
That's true.
You know, somebody's gonna like it. So I think it goes to where it's supposed to go. You just have to trust yourself and almost be delusional. Yeah.
But I also think too, even if you didn't like it, somebody probably still would like it.
Yeah.
Because I can recall one artist who hated one of the albums that they recorded, but the charts said that people loved it.
Yeah.
But they hated it.
That's true.
So, you know, it's
a lot of artists
so
too.
I guess I say that to say, even when you do feel like, this isn't good enough, or, I really don't like it, it could transcend differently to someone else.
I believe
And then
it.
I know you also said that you wrote what you went through as you felt, what you were going through.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some people on the album that might hear a little bit of their story.
Yeah.
And kind of like, if you feel away, then you just feel away and
True.
feel that way.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. I'll take that too.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So music and art, and I'm just going to keep calling it art because I love music, and I do believe that it is art. It's emotional for listeners. Like when I was listening to it, it was emotional. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna listen to it right now. All right, now I gotta cut it off so I can get something done, because it puts you in a certain headspace and a certain heart space. And with it being emotional for the listener, I know that has to be 10 or 20 times for the artist, for the creator, for the writer, for you.
Yeah.
So how did you, during the course of recording and writing, and I know you said that you will write while driving, which is dangerous. Don't do that. No, not joke. But you said you will write while, driving, or write while, maybe walking, just write as it came to you. How were you able to disconnect from the emotion so you didn't go insane and have to be checked in somewhere?
I think one of the things that I struggle with the album was, how much do I want to say?
Okay.
Because there's still that level of, that's personal that you want to keep for yourself. But then it's there's a lot that I wanted to say. And, some things I, left off, or some records that I left off the album, just because there were some things were healing, but for me personally. And then, I keep it in the tuck. But how did I disconnect? I don't know if I did. Maybe when I was asleep or something. But I think I wanted to be in it. I went for the journey. I trusted, the fact that this was my goal, and I knew that it was going to be a journey. I knew that it was going to be things that I had to say that I did not want to say. I knew it was stories that I had to tell and talk about that was embarrassing or shameful to a certain degree. Because to me doing that, had I not did that, I think this album would have been a disservice to the people that it was for, that it was supposed to reach. So I allowed myself to be in that space. And it was a lot of bad days. It was a lot of sad days. I think my emotions was this, and I think you can hear that, right? But ultimately, I went for the journey. In the days that was good, I took them with stride. And the days that weren't so good and that was tough, I took it with stride too.
And that's important.
Yeah.
And the stuff you didn't want to say.
Yeah.
Why didn't you want to say it?
I just think it's that line. It's that line that separates. Because a lot of times, as a singer, any type of public figure, right? Whatever you do, meaning whatever your work is, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, people kind of stamp you at that version. And I think sometimes it's just how human beings could be. They don't allow you to come out of, I could do 10 billion good things and then say one bad thing on the album. And then it's so I think it's just that line. It's that line that I felt and because I'm a Virgo. So there's things that I said that you would have to know, or have to really, I wonder what he meant by these. Certain songs and certain metaphors and things that I used did that.
So there's always the little guy on our shoulder who's saying, this is going to be terrible. Don't do it. Give it up. Let it go. When you were in the process, regardless of the part of the process, whether it was beginning, whether you were in the booth recording, and you heard, "Don't do it. This is a mistake. No one's going to listen to it." What kept you going and made you do it anyway?
So you say the little boy on the shoulder. I think the little boy inside me.
Oh, the man. Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
you know what I mean. That was ultimately becoming the man in me, because I think essentially that's what it was. So
Right.
the listening experience starts from when I was a little boy back in the back of the church about to get married. So that's who I see, when we start with Dear John. So that is what kept me going. You know what I mean? Like that was like, I need to talk to him. I need to release the things that he carries. So that's what kept me going.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I heard you say Dear John, and you kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But this is your interview, so it's all good. It's all good. So speaking of Dear John, I'm not going to skip to Dear John, which is an incredible song. You already know how I feel about that one. But
T. You take a sip while we drink.
That was corny. I'm sorry, but
need a little dad joke, right?
right. So, tea. Everybody loves a cup of it. Everybody loves it iced, hot, sweet, whatever that version of it is, right? And that's how you open the album. Now, when I was listening, T was the last set of questions that I wrote.
Really?
Because I was trying to figure out how to break it down. And when I was doing it, I was kind of like, it's crazy, because a lot of times the first album on the album or the record is the last album that was worked on or recorded or anything like that. Not saying that's what happened here, but it paints a dark picture at first when I'm listening to it. Like I can visualize the room getting darker, the lights going, not like pitch black, but the lights going down, the clouds moving over the sun. And it's just like, this is the hard part. Like that you gotta hear, whether you want to hear it, whether you want to drink it or not. I'm gonna kind of open your mouth and force it, down your throat. And one of the opening lines, you say, "I find it crazy that you hate me, but you say you my homie. Say you love me, but don't ever call me."
Yeah.
Let's go into that first part. I find it crazy that you hate me, but say you my homie. Where were you when where were you mentally, emotionally when you begin to write that?
So yeah, I was enraged.
Okay.
That was fresh when it was like all of this stuff was like really starting. So when I wrote T, I was mad, and I did this song as an opener at a show I did called Elephant in the Room. It was the first time I ever did it, but like I said, it was the beginning of this chapter where so many things were surfacing, and I was going through so many experiences that I was writing about or talking about. Because here's the thing, people automatically feel that healing is like you come out like this timid, soft, like it's nothing about me timid. And I think when I say it's nothing about me timid, it's not to be arrogant. I just think that at one point I was a person like, you say something about me, I'm knocking you down, But I think as I was going through this process, I needed to say what I had to say and show another side of me that let people know like this ain't that, Right. And I think very seldomly do I write things in the moment. I usually like process them, or I'll write as I go. But there's a lot of things to family. Like I said, marriage. My marriage from like in the beginning was like a ride, because I wasn't ready when I got married the first time. Okay. We did a vow renewal, but the first time I did it, I was like young. I was doing it for like reasons that were outside of me, I guess. And so many things came with that decision. And doing that brought a lot of like frenemies, you know, a lot of pain from family members or family that I married into. So I was mad. I was angry, but I wanted to. The reason why, you know, it came down to T, because of course it's like people want news, and it was one of those things like, okay, you got so much to say, sit down, let's have some tea. I'll tell you about it.
Right.
So it's like I'm not allowing anyone to tell my story anymore, and I think that's what T is, a declaration to that.
Okay, and possibly what you meant by I'm gonna keep on stirring up this pot because it's hot.
Absolutely, because I know you. I just think that people feed off of things that are, you know, negative, like just naturally, just naturally. You know what I mean? It's just, and I don't think it's all bad, like it's or intended to be bad. I just think that it's something about negativity that draws people, or you know, telling the dark side of who you are or the negative things about you, that's intriguing to people. So I said, okay, why not start with T?
Right. Okay. And it's a part at the end of T, and I feel like when I say it, I have the words wrong. Okay. It's the chop and screw part.
Okay.
And I feel like I got it wrong because it just doesn't sound right. And you let me know, because it's your baby.
Okay.
So you let me know if I'm saying his name wrong.
Okay.
You be throwing shade in the snow in the morning?
No.
Is that because I was like, is that what it's saying? But
no, it's busy throwing shade, and it's starting to bore me. It's starting to bore me. His, hers, the truth. Three sides to the story. Yeah.
See, I had heard the truth, but I was like, that is not what it's saying.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just gonna wait till we get to the day, and I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, it was that declaration. I was fed up. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. But
I like it.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't like it, it didn't matter because it's your body
it was
work,
truly a declaration. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the emotion behind not even just T, but since, you know, T could upset some people, what emotions do you want the listeners to feel or experience when they hear T, or when they hear Glory, or The Man in Me, or Flowers, or any of the incredible records that make up The Man in Me, the album?
I want them to feel. That's it. So regardless of what your feeling is, if my music and my art can move you in any way, then I've done my job. And that's essentially that's what I want. I just want people to be able to listen to it and feel, because I think that regardless of what walk of life you're from, what race you are, what gender you are, yes, it's the man in me, but even things that I've experienced, like women can relate to. So I think the album is extremely relatable, so I just want people to feel. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because as men, we don't just listen to male artists, like we listen to female artists, we listen to groups,
absolutely,
guy groups, girl groups. So I'm glad you said that, because this album isn't just for men. Yeah, like and even if the album was written from the man's perspective or for the man or what have you, late women can still listen to understand and advocate for men. Right. Because we don't do that. Exactly. We get to the room and we like, hey, and then you ready to go? Yeah. Okay, and it's over. Like that's it. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got 2 clapbacks waiting in my back pocket. Yeah. Been through too much to be tolerating nonsense. Right. When I heard that, this picture of Malcolm X came to mind. Yeah. Because I'm like, like you just ready, like, oh, you said what? Yeah. Okay, well here, I got this for you. Oh, you said this about me? Okay, I got this for you. Oh, you posted this? Okay, well let me, you know, and it was kind of, when I heard that part, I'm like, okay. And then it made me do a self-reflection on myself. But it made me do a self-reflection, because I believe we've all been there if we're not there right now. And if we haven't been there and we're not there right now, we will get there. So I think that line alone is going to strike a different chord. You know, with different people. But are the 2 clapbacks in your back pocket because you feel you got to be on guard and you got to be ready for if someone comes at you or if someone comes at your family? And is that because it's been like that in the past?
Well, I stay ready. So, we laugh about it, but I think I've become so serious about me. Because I feel like it's so much time has went by that I let people play with me. And not just in a way where it's like disrespect, like someone doing something disrespectful, but I let people kind of look over me. I let myself stand in the back of the room. There was a time, so when I say I wasn't timid, I'm not timid, there was a time I was. People who know me personally would say I'm shy, like in other settings. But I am a person who will defend myself. But as I'm getting older, and as so many things that are a part of me are like taking themselves, pretty much detaching themselves from me.
Okay.
That lessens, because some things I just don't feel are important enough to have a clap back. I could, okay, but. No, I just some as I'm getting older, I just find that it's getting easier just to, kind of like, whatever. But at the same time, it's there.
Right.
It's there. Yeah.
And I think it's there with all of us.
Yeah.
But that even shows growth.
Yeah.
It shows strength.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot to be like, that is not worth this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is worth it. But that right there, it's not even.
Because some people want to get that. Because some people just do it just to say like, oh, I know it's in there, So, which is where the tea and all that came, But I don't know. That's essentially the ride of the album. I'm starting off like coming in hot, guns blazing. Right. I'm ready. And then by the end of it, you are able to see another side of me. So, yeah.
This next song.
Okay.
When I remember when I first heard it, and then I listened to it again while preparing for this sit down with you, I heard it different on the album versus as a single.
Okay.
Right? I don't know why, I just did. Like maybe it was because just how it flowed through. But it's Dear John. And often when we hear Dear John, we think about an anonymous letter or, breakup, things like that. Which with this is why I love that you called it Dear John, because it's not that. It's almost the complete opposite. It's not a love letter,
right.
But it's not like you don't throwing the deuces or ghosting somebody. And there is a phrase in Dear John. First of all, you say, look at you. Look at you. Don't even have a clue. Like you just delirious out here, right? And then you talk about like seeing pain and then ignoring it and not being an advocate. Just kind of letting whatever happened to you happen to you. And now you're lost and you think everyone's against you. Get to my question. You break it down and you say, you're just so bitter. And when I hear that, I hear suggestions of lingering resentment. Because like usually when we tell somebody like, oh, you're bitter, or someone feels like bitter, it comes off in a harmful way. So do you see bitterness as something that people can overcome? Or if we go personal, have you had bitterness that you've had to overcome and have overcome?
You can absolutely overcome it, but I think a lot of it is accepting,
Accepting that you are bitter, or?
Well, accepting whatever it is you're bitter about.
Okay, all right.
My bitterness, I was a person, so growing up, I was raised by my mother and my stepfather. My stepfather got me when I was 2 years old.
Okay.
But my dominant parent was my mother. Myself and my older brother were pretty much raised by my mom. That being said, I had an issue with control. And I was just like that all my life. Anytime I was being told what to do, like, or whatever, or anyone that wanted to give me direction, I became like, I would just do the opposite. Only because I just had an issue with control, and it comes from, my mom. But so as I was getting older, and anything that felt like was restriction, or anything that felt like was holding me back, to me, I became bitter about or at. So to answer your question, I do think it comes with accepting what things are, that this is the circumstances and I can't change it. And I think that helps with the healing. For me, it did, healing of bitterness. I had to get to a point in my day-to-day when things would kind of like haunt me or come back to me, or I would still want answers, because a lot of my answers, I wanted to know why. Okay. And a lot of times there's no answer. There's not a why, but I had to accept what things were, and that this is the reality of it, in order to give myself permission to move past it.
Okay. And would you say that was the turning point for you?
Turning point, no. I don't think there was a turning point. I think when I had my son.
Oh, okay.
I think it was kind of like when I started, I'm not gonna say when I had him, I think when I started seeing who I was rubbing off on him, it was like, okay, it's time. Yeah.
You started to see his footprints in yours.
Exactly. And it was time. It was time. Yeah.
And we're going to get to that in Flowers,
Okay.
but we're on Dear John right now.
Okay.
So how did you decide on the delivery of Dear John? As far as melody, tone, what was the picture that was being painted as you were creating this record?
So I worked on this record with Keon. He's a producer, engineer, songwriter, vocal producer. He does everything. But we've known each other for years, and we worked on this record together. But we seen, like I said, going back to when I first got married, it was like that picture in my head that I knew I was talking to him. Even when I was in the back of the church fixing my flower, my boutonniere, I just knew that I was so fearful. I was scared. I didn't have anyone around me. I had no one that was looking up. Like my dad didn't come and fix my tie. I didn't have that experience. I didn't. And I was really bitter about that. I was mad about that. So I knew I had to start with him, because that essentially was the little boy that I needed to talk to. Because had I known that what he was about to go through, it was like, oh, I gotta talk to you. So, yeah.
So you just talked about being at your wedding and not having your dad there to fix your tie, to check your flower. Like, you checked your own flower, fixed your own stuff up. So I want to go to the line, your pops was a burden, left a void, and you knew you were hurting. Mama mad because you closing the curtain. Now you are uncertain about everything. I want to dive into that a little bit, especially the part about, your pops was a burden. When you were writing this, I'm assuming you were reliving some of the trauma and experience that you had gone through. How tough was it writing it and then having to go and actually say it out of your mouth when you recorded it?
The relationship with my father, my real father, it was tough. It was tough. Because I was so mad at him about so much stuff.
Okay.
And just common things like, oh, I don't know how to throw a football, or I don't know how to, talk to a girl, or just things that because, like I said, I was raised by my stepfather, but he was there financially. He wasn't as, like, our emotional relationship wasn't as in touch. That was more so privy to my mom. But with my real father, that I always yearned for that relationship. I met my real father when I was 21. Meaning like someone I could say, oh, I know, who you are, was 21. And, my father, he has a background of drugs. He was physically abusive to my mother. I was in like drug houses and things like that. Like, it was kind of crazy. Well, these are of course things that I was told, but it was hard. It was hard. Even when I was talking about it, it was hard. But I just forgave my father. I just forgave him. Like, maybe 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I released him from all his debts because I had to. I had to. So yeah, it was tough.
You couldn't let that keep you back.
Oh yeah, it was, and it was. It was keeping me back as a man. Like that is the biggest part of the man in me. Forgiving my father.
And that's big. Because a lot of people have not.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go to the grave and still have not. So the fact that you were able to shows growth and healing, like that a lot of men need.
Right.
Which is why I think this album will definitely be therapy for a lot of men, because
that's the goal. Yeah.
We need it. Like, and some of us, even though it's the year that it is, and some of us still are like, I'm not going to therapy. Like, no, bruh.
Yeah.
Get you a therapist.
Yeah.
They got free ones. So I don't want to hear you don't have health insurance or none of that. But okay. So that must have been heavy for you, of course. And it was a lot of baggage that you were carrying.
Yeah.
But maybe you released some of it when you did forgive your father. But that takes us into the next song on the album, Baggage, right? And when I hear it, I hear a deep sense of regret, sometime, off timing, emotional exhaustion. How do you interpret the idea of never giving yourself the chance to be loved?
Yeah.
Like I never gave myself the chance to be loved.
Baggage in itself, I never let anyone close to me. I always controlled the environment that I was in, how much anyone knew about me, even my friends, or people that I would say that was my friends who I really cared and loved about. But I would be selective with the information that I share and things, only because I always felt that it was going to be used against me. So I never gave myself a chance to be loved. But even in the chance of a relationship, it was always that I love you, but I'm prepared. Just in case. So I knew that it was the baggage, because I always felt that anyone that came didn't stay. Right? And then I also felt that anyone that came had an ulterior motive, where it was like, it was something that they want. And then once they achieved it, our relationship declined, or it was just different. And I just think I just became so affected and hurt by those things. So I was just protecting myself. And it was a form of baggage. Yeah.
So was this song meant to capture a specific moment or realization, aside from those people coming into your life with the ulterior motives and then bouncing after,
I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those things I knew before I fixed it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because most people know and then they do something to fix it. Like I knew but didn't care. So I think it affected my relationship, affected my marriage, right? And when her and I separated, of course we did end up getting remarried, but when I separated, I realized how much things I was holding in. Like I was always just prepared for the worst scenario or the most negative thing. So I knew to the point where it caused me to separate from my wife, right? But I didn't fix it yet. So.
And what would happen if you did let your guard down? Like if someone came in to your life, they made a mistake, they acknowledged it, they apologized, and
I think I want to be able to, I think at the time I wanted to be able to trust and love authentically, right? Because I just have a hard time trusting. It's really, really hard for me to do that. And I always look at people like, yeah, but no, So I think I just had a hard time trusting. And like I said, it's one of those things where you get older and you start to, I just became so exhausted. I was exhausted with fighting things that did not happen yet. I was like walking into every situation like, all right, so we're gonna be friends for this amount of time. They're gonna do some nutty to me, and then I'm gonna have to cut them off. But I think sometimes I would kind of speak those things into the situation. So I was just exhausted. So I think it was like all this baggage. won't let my guard down. So yeah,
You gotta build a fence higher and higher.
right.
Knitting the sweater that didn't
Didn't need.
exist.
Yeah, it didn't even need. Yeah,
There was no yarn for the sweater.
was out. I was out of it. Yeah.
Okay. Left you before it was time. When you say that, it sounds like a premature departure, but were you talking about someone externally or someone or yourself internally when you talk about that part of the experience?
I was talking about my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, so this goes back to me saying I wasn't ready when I got married the first time. So it's like a nod at that. Loved you before it was time. Now you can't stop crying. Because it was rough. It was rough at that time. And there's no handbook for marriage.
No.
So it's like,
I wish.
yeah, it's no handbook for marriage. So everyone's circumstance in marriage is different. So yeah, you'll be able to give me advice, but it's going to be based off of your
Experience.
But if you didn't experience that, it's like your advice is kind of like just off what you could offer a friend, But never. It was to her. Yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of like what to expect when you're expecting. I read all the baby books, and none of them added up. I kind of want my money back. But. Okay, so there's another song on the album. We carry the baggage, and then we begin to smell the flowers, and that's the next song on the album, Flowers. I love every song on the album, but there are certain songs that I'm like entrenched in.
Yeah.
And Flowers is one of those songs.
Yeah, that's good.
And I don't know if it's because I have a son, and this is, kind of like a love letter to your son in ways, or to the little boy in you as well. But when I heard Flowers, I remember back to when you and your son went viral in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you were buying ice cream.
Yeah.
And you called him over, showed him the ice cream, and he just started getting it.
Yeah.
And it was a black boy joy moment.
Yeah.
It replayed in my brain.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go find it on social media. It just replayed in my
Yeah.
brain. So when you were writing this song or recording this song, what realization did you come to when it was done? Like when you sat back and you listened to it, what was the realization for you?
I want to heal little black boys so bad, because essentially healing little black boys would heal grown black men. Yeah. And I knew. So when I first had a son, so we did a gender reveal, and how we did, we wore white, and they sprayed us with paint.
Okay.
So it was blue. So I remember when we took our blindfolds off and I looked down, I was excited, but I was like, because I thought I was gonna have a girl. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're a girl, Dad." But when I seen a boy, I was like, because remember all the issues from my father, all the things that I felt that I wasn't. It was like, how am I going to do that? And there were so many things inside of me that wasn't healed. So, but when, I had my son, I knew that I wanted his life to be good, within, reason. Like most parents want their kids' life to be good. But but when it comes to, there's nothing anyone could tell me, raising a boy into a man is hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of your experiences that you get from being a man is experience, not your father. You know what I'm saying? Your father can give you the guidelines, but I think that when you start to experience things for yourself, man, it's different. So Flowers was, because they say, men don't get their first flowers to their funeral. So I was like, I'm going to give my little boy his. My son means the world to me. My son is every reason, for me. So giving, that song on the track is so heartfelt. It's so heartfelt. It's magical to me. And even when I wrote it, I was just like, I know I wanted to be simple enough to sound like I was with a kid. So that's where bought my sunflowers today to take the pain all away. I wanted it to be so simple, but I wanted to feel almost like adolescent. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I think you did. You felt, and I think you will make others feel. When you hit the next line, bet some of you fathers would say that was the biggest mistake.
Yes.
I don't think it's the biggest mistake because I think if more little boys got flowers, then they'd be a little.
Because as men, even now, especially with black men, we have this thing where we have to be the entire time. It's like exhausting. Like, when do we get to be sad and cry? You know, we're just told we're not allowed to do that. So when I wrote that line, again, it was like a nod at what people would say, like, you bought your son flowers, like that's corny, or that's feminine, or that's gay, or you know, it's so many things, that negative things that could come from that. So I wanted to address it before you could even say it, or they could even say it. Yeah.
And I hope people take it seriously and listen and accept and acknowledge. Because as men, when it comes to flowers, we're always doing this and we're never doing that. Like, we don't put them in the, if we are putting them in the vase, it's because we put them in a vase for somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
But I think that's great to break the stereotype or the generational curse of men don't receive. Right. Like, we only give. Yeah. There's no gender on the flower. Exactly. Trees are men and male and female.
Yeah, so, that's true.
So, no, we don't get them often, as you already said, only on our coffin. For my boy, I bought some for the trouble, is what we'll call them. Yeah. Kind of like you're already trying to get ahead of the game and heal when someone's going to come along and maybe break his heart or make him feel less than because he's a black boy or he is allowed, thanks to mommy and daddy, to feel his emotions and to, you know, be who he truly wants to be. So for me, the chord that was struck was, am I doing good enough as a dad? Like, because I have a son and a daughter, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, my dad died when I was 4, so I'm similar to you. I don't know. I can't go to you and say, hey, he's doing this. What do I do? So when I heard that part, I'm like, man, that's so true. Like, we go our whole lives and we give away flowers. And when we die, there's $1,000 worth of them on top of this box that's going to go sit in underground somewhere for eternity. What was the chord with you? Like, what chord was struck when you?
Oh man. Well, even when you talk about flowers, even not just physical flowers, like, I pour into my little boy, and I guess my son is unique. He's creative. He likes colors. He's into art. He's different. And the reason why I pour into him so much is because it's so easy for him to be misunderstood. Just like it's easy for me to be misunderstood. And any kid, and it doesn't have to be that he's into art or creative. It's just because that's how the world views black men and also young black boys. I tell him that he's amazing. I tell him, like, you have to feel that way about yourself. It's 2 rules, you know, discipline plus consistency equals success. But also our number 1 rule is be yourself. Anytime I tell him, I say, I don't care if you walk into a room, how you talk, how you walk, how you dress, how you speak, don't limit it. Because I did. I limited myself when I felt like I was around men that was more masculine than I was. You know, I limited myself when I was around people that were maybe, you know, from the streets, because I wasn't, you know. So, and because I was always picked at or always like bullied, I guess, for being different, for being unique, for being soft, you know. And I was very insecure about my voice, you know, because I'm soft spoken, and I was just be very insecure to speak around people, or especially men. I say not people, men. So I pour into my little boy every day. So if my little boy will walk out here and he would feel that way, and things somebody could say, I'm learning about him that he can let it bounce off, because I think I assure him as his father, you're enough. Nah, I like it. You're cool. You're good. So flowers aren't just no, it's words, the things that we say, the things that we pour into our little boys.
Absolutely, because it's growing within him.
Exactly.
So
well, that's a bar. That's a bar.
So you're while maybe your father wasn't present, from your experiences, you're now showing your son, no, it's okay to be you, no matter where you go, who you're around, and no matter who says what. Like if you know it's not true.
Exactly. And and it's healing in itself. So we're healing the both of us.
For you and him.
Yes.
At the same time. You're healing stuff that he won't experience till he's 16 years old. But he's gonna be like, when I was 8, my dad said.
Yep.
And it'll be.
Exactly.
And he will never have to say sorry. Yeah. Because he will know Daddy taught me.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And speaking of sorries, that's the next.
I like how you brought that in. That was cool. Yeah.
So in the sorry, I love the acoustic. I'm a fan of live instruments, and when I heard the acoustic guitar, I'm like, man, this is cold. Yeah. So much that I ran the first 10 seconds back quite a few times. Oh. So I promised you something to end up with nothing. I'm sorry, so sorry. Now you're just lonely just because you chose me. I'm sorry. Yeah. When I heard that line, I didn't hear one lonely person. I heard two. I heard you and the person you were talking to. Yeah. I'm making no assumptions, but maybe it was your wife that you were speaking to. Yeah. And she's on the background because I thought that was super dope. Yeah, yeah. But then I hear genuine remorse as you're saying it, because when we apologize, sometimes it can shift the dynamic. It can make it worse, or it can make it better. Yeah. Like, I genuinely am sorry for X. Yeah. So what does genuine remorse look like to you, and how do you believe it can shape a relationship?
Action. So I'm action. It's funny you mentioned my wife. So she's big on, I said it. I'm big on I showed it. I showed. So I think it just, in a relationship it depends, but for myself, like I want to see what you're saying, because what you're saying is great, but because this goes back to my issues with control and trust issues and things like that, I wanted to see it. You don't have to tell me it. Even though sorry is great, it's nice. I just think that it's like sorry, it's a word. People say words, right? But I think showing it that I'm sorry, like this is something I did not mean to do or make you feel, or that kind of thing. That's what I think it means to me. And to also piggyback off of that, so you mentioned how my wife was on the song. We wrote that together unintentionally. Okay. So I wrote majority of the song, but it was like in pieces. I think like the hook was something else at some point. So we were on our way to the studio, and I wasn't even going to record it. So I'm like, hey, I got this song, I don't know if I'm going to, such and such. And on the way to the studio, maybe it was a 30-minute ride. We did it. We finished it. It was like, we did it like in 30 minutes, kind of what I had. And then she wrote her part. So on the hook, it's like a back and forth. So if you notice, I say, I promised you something to end up with nothing. I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. Yeah. So we're saying it to each other. Yeah. So it's like a double meaning where it's the verses kind of explain that, but yeah, that's what the hook was.
I love it. Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to listen to it another time. Yeah. I like that. Okay. And then you said it on tape that she helped you write it. Yeah. So BMI and ASCAP gonna have to pay her too. Huh?
Yeah. They'll pay. Yes.
Do you think loneliness is the result of broken expectation, or does it reflect something else for you? Like we kind of like, maybe we're loners or we're to ourselves because so many people have let us down.
Yeah, to me, yes. Because I don't think anybody chooses, I'm a loner. I think I just feel peace when I'm alone, but I think to the extent of loneliness, yes. I think it's the idea of like, I've been let down so many times, I don't even want to give people the opportunity to let me down again. So if I don't get close,
then you can't even have it.
And if I stay by myself, who can hurt me, But essentially, again, God wants us in community. Right. He wants us in relationship with other people, because that's how things work, together. So it's just one of those things that why healing is so important. Because it's not that you can't be a loner, it's just that loneliness can lead to so many different things that turn out to be negative.
Right.
Yeah.
depression, suicide,
Exactly.
all that.
Overthinking, thoughts that never happened. Yeah.
Right. Knitting sweaters.
Yeah.
You and I know what that is.
Knitting sweaters.
So, when it comes to apologies in relationships, when do you think you stop apologizing for issues that maybe you've already apologized for and shown, because you know you're visual, like they've apologized and then they've shown you like, I really meant what I said to you. The words have been said and now the actions are in play. So do you believe that it needs to be done over and again, or is once enough and then hit the action?
I think that it could be tiring to the other person, but I think you should remind, especially if it's someone that you love, remind them if it's something that they were maybe affected by, you know, hey, you know, I'm sorry. Or, but again, I'm big on showing. And I think that even if it wasn't your intention, I think it should be your intention to show that it wasn't your intention. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So I think when you're intentional about showing that it wasn't your intention, the common person, right, or just people who are feelers like me, you know, can tell. And I think that when they feel that, then yeah.
There are times where we're going through stuff in life and we wish a person, a situation, a scenario would just go away. Which takes us to your next song on the album, Go Away. So in the record, you say, 2 shots back and I can't go forward. And immediately when I heard it, I'm like, all right, we at the bar, or are we at the bar inside the house?
Yeah.
So do you think people often use substance as a way to stall emotional progress?
I wouldn't say stall. I think I like to say, to numb.
Okay.
I think it's numb. And I never used to think that, right? So I guess before life started lifing for me, I couldn't understand like substance abuse, right? And even though that is something that's in my family, I never really understood like why would anybody until I started going through it. And it's one of those things, it's to numb, to kind of make you feel better. It's like you just resort to something like liquor or like drugs or smoking or something to kind of make you, for that pick me up. And I think essentially that's what it is.
Right.
Like a pick me up to feel better, because naturally when you're not intoxicated or when you don't have liquor or any type of substance, you kind of have this somber thing or this cloud hanging over your head. So yeah.
Because you have to feel everything.
Yeah.
There's no Novocaine,
exactly.
no,
And substance helps.
extra strength ibuprofen.
Yeah, no, it really
None
is.
of that. And I'm glad you, because in the record you're talking about, alcohol, but I'm glad you used the term substance, because I think too often people don't think of alcohol as substance, but it's something foreign that you're putting in your body to make you feel different.
And it can also control you. So
that is true.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Which is why they call it liquid courage.
Yes.
You start talking to people you never would have talked to.
Would have done. Never.
So then, I want to kind of transfer on that one. You also said, I could drink the pain away, but it'd be there the next day.
Yeah.
So you come to the realization, like I could drink this whole bottle of whatever it is, but when I wake up in the morning, it's still going to be there.
Right.
When you began to accept the things that had happened in your life and accept the apologies and begin to realize I don't always have to be on guard. Like I don't have to be 24/7 the bodyguard and security of my emotions.
Right.
I can let people in. How freeing was that for you?
It was freeing, but as I started becoming more comfortable with myself,
Okay.
I think it was like a kind of like a formula. So it was like, each stage of this, I got this part, but there was another part that was missing to everything, to every single song, whether it was Dear John, Flowers, or any Sorry. It was that plus accepting who you were, being comfortable with who you were, that equaled the man in me. So I think I just had to accept, yo, this you.
Right.
And there's people that's gonna rock with you. And there's people that's not. And that's okay. And once I started accepting that it was gonna be people that did not rock with me, but that did not mean I had to change that, freeing. That's when it became freeing. Yeah.
Because the people who will be for you will be for you, and those who will not can get on a bus and go the other side.
Right.
Oh, good. Okay. It's like a magic trick.
Yes.
Like, just makes you feel abracadabra. There it is.
Yes.
Right? So, speaking of magic tricks, the next record on the album is Magic. I love the analogies that you put into this, like making people feel like they were watching a magician on stage. But a part of it is you said, keep my secrets in the locket. And when I heard that, I thought about being guarded. Like, and with a locket, it's only around your neck. Like, so if I just got them right here, like, can't nobody come take it off me. At least without me knowing and me being open to, like, because to take a necklace off somebody, you got to be pretty close. So it's like I invited you into this space.
Right. Yeah.
Were you intending to hide your pain?
No. Well, let me just first say, Magic is probably my favorite record on there, only because the way it feels to me. I was just to the point where I was tired of my own shit.
Okay.
I was tired of like seeming like I was okay or seeming like I had it all together.
And not.
Yeah, not. So that's kind of where Magic came from. I think it was such a monumental moment only because when people would think that, oh, so you realize you were full of shit. So no, yes and no, but that was the moment that changed everything for me. Because I think once you realize, like, you kind of look in the mirror, it was like that self thing, like, oh no, I gotta do something about this. Because it was causing me so much dysfunction in my life and my friendships and my marriage and just as a person. I had so much dysfunction, and I think that as you know, Magic was the best way I could come up with, like, oh, nobody would have ever known. Some of the things that I went through and talk about would have never known. People would have never known.
But you wear it on your sleeve and let people see, like.
Yeah, the people will see like the residue of it and certain things, like, why is he like that? But it's so many layers to it. So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then I don't know if they can necessarily say that you were full of shit versus I just wanted to look like I had my shit together at all times. Yeah. Even though, like, on the inside, there are no walls. Yeah. It's like, I'm a house with no walls. None. But to you, I'm going to seem like I got it all together. Yeah.
And it's a part of, like, your character too. I'm naturally a person that is very, meticulous and things like that. But yeah, like you said, on the inside, I was so going crazy. I was like, it was a wildfire. I was just like I was searching for myself.
Gotcha. Yeah. You were searching for yourself. Yeah. Then the rain came.
Oh, it came.
Sun came out. Yeah. And we were into the glory. Yeah. Which is the next song on the album. Glory. And this is my favorite song. Really? I'm excited about this part because
I wasn't even going to put it on there.
I'm so happy you did.
I wasn't.
I'm so happy you did. Yeah. And I know as an interview, I'm not supposed to say this is my favorite, but I already said it. It's on the tape. Like, I love every song, but there's just something about Glory. And I don't know if it's the organ in the beginning that made me feel like I was in church, which is the only place as a kid that I felt safe. Yeah. But I was like, this song is everything. Yeah. And even the lyrics, they suggest that, when it comes to encounters, even a brief one can be everlasting. And I think I think every song is going to be upon the interpretation of the listener. But when it comes to this one, I think they're really going to have to and see how they want to interpret things. Right. So when it comes to lasting connections, what defines lasting connections for you? Is it choice? Is it circumstance? Is it something bigger?
I think it's bigger. I think that we got to be headed in similar directions.
Okay.
You know, I think that I spent enough time being connected to people who really just, it was to kind of feed my own, you know, maybe insecurity or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, lasting connections. I just want us to be headed in the same direction. Mm-hmm. We don't have to do the same thing. We don't have to like everything the same way. But if we're headed in the same direction and we have the same common, you know, character, right, choice, or, you know, things that are important. I mean, it's fine to have people from different walks of life, but where I'm going, like, they got to be headed in the same direction. Yeah.
And that's your requirement.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's like a job. Like, we got this set of requirements for you to work here.
Yeah, you got to be going somewhere.
I got this set of requirements for you to be in my life, and that's what it is.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So we're winding down, which brings us to the finale, the title track, The Man and Me. Oh my gosh, did I just get emotional for a second? So this, as we come to the close talking about all these records that you recorded, and even ones that you wrote that didn't see studio time, but they're still, once you put it on paper, you can't, it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's always going to be there. When it came to The Man and Me, and you started talking about things about, you know, not letting people really see you, and not allowing yourself to be as free as you would want to be. For instance, in one of the lines you say, the man in me will do nearly any task and ask for compensation as a little he would ask. Is this because you were wanting or needing to feel acceptance, that you would do nearly anything, or?
Well, so the song is a cover.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to let you hear it. It's a cover.
I don't want to hear it. I like it.
Well, it's a cover. So I'm actually have to tell you how that came about.
Okay.
So originally, when I knew that I was doing this album, but the name was kind of like vague, or what I wanted to name it. But because it is like my first album, I knew that it had to be impactful. But the experience that I had, so my wife's father, so my father-in-law, he was in a group. It was a doo-wop group. So it's a doo-wop. It was done, when I heard it, it was a doo-wop song. And he passed from, I think it was, he had a heart attack. And it was unexpected, but at his funeral, they sang that song.
Oh, okay.
But they did it in a way, it was doo-wop. But I remember when I was sitting on the pew, he and I, we didn't really see eye to eye. He wasn't really a fan of me, I could say that. But I remember sitting on the pew and they were singing the song. And I was so intrigued because it was his favorite song. And to me, it was almost like that declaration, like, this is the conversation that we never had. He and I never got a chance to talk and come to terms with each other before he passed. So because of that, it was more so sealing the deal. Like, I feel like when he left and I officially had his daughter, you know, in my hands, based on everything that I was going through and I experienced, I knew that it was like, okay, that's when I became the man in me, because I knew that I was now taking care of someone else's heart. Not that I wasn't before, but it was a little bit different because should, God forbid, if our marriage didn't work, you know, she didn't have a dad to run back to, you know? And I just felt it was my responsibility to become a better person and to become a better man. And it was hard. It was hard. So yeah, but, you know, just to go back to what you were saying, it was kind of like that conversation that we never had. Right. So yeah.
And now it comes full circle as you record the cover that.
Yeah. And that's the story.
Right.
So like that's the conversation. And here's the whys and here's what you didn't know. And yeah.
So even though y'all never got the chance to have that conversation, now you kind of did.
Yeah, we did.
Because
Yeah.
you're singing the same lyrics and you're coming to, maybe you didn't agree before, but now you're coming to an agreement.
Yeah.
Like, that's my daughter. I'm sending her to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now.
Yeah. And I'm just and I'm giving it back to those who haven't. So you know, you may not have the tools if you're in this situation, or you know, get married and you feel like you don't know what you're doing. It's just so many different versions of this, but listening to this, you're able to have that kind of like that textbook,
Right.
you know, where you're able to listen and say, okay, well, here's what he did and here's how it turned out for him.
Right.
So, and you may not be the exact same way or work out the exact same way for you, but I think when you trust the idea of the process, trust what God has gave you and the gift that he has gave you, and you put that into his hands and you just accept where things are going to go, it leads to the Man in Me album. So
I had another. Actually, no, I'm going to ask you. I mean, that was a great. If the producer wants to use that as a closing clip, I think that is incredible. Yeah. But the Man in Me, it is, most of us, when we want to read about someone's life, we go to the library or Barnes and Noble or Amazon, and we get the book. Would you consider this to be your audible memoir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a phenomenal way to put it. 100%.
Well, make sure y'all go get the audible memoir, download it wherever you can download it. Because Kalief Jennifer is the Man in Me.
The Man in Me.
This is great, bro.
It was
I appreciate you letting me be a part of this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.